this baby on the floor, and I know that you have a little update that you want to share with everybody, so why don't you go into that?
Hi guys, I am Christina. I have been in kidney failure for 20 years. This is Moose, he's more important. He is a Pomsky, guys. That is a Pomeranian Husky. He's full grown, he's 3.5 years old, and he's my eyeballs because I'm legally blind. And can I stand up? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna stand up. So I have a bit of an update. So I'm gonna give a little skeleton version of my story really quickly so you all know. But when I was 12 years old, I went in for a sports physical and I found out I had a kidney problem. Went to a nephrologist, did a biopsy, and they diagnosed me with a kidney disease. But so they told me I had nephritis, but they had no idea what kind of nephritis. And nephritis is across the board. It could be anything. And so I went on with life as normal. I was 22, got pregnant, got toxemia, had seizures. I lost my eyesight and my kidneys, giving birth to my beautiful baby girl. And went on from there. My big brother gave me a kidney, and I only had to do 1.5 months of dialysis before that. And I joked and told everyone I got a drive-through kidney. I shouldn't have done that because I rejected. And I rejected his kidney very, very well to where I had to have it removed. When I rejected it, I went in center. I was not told about any options. And I did 5.5 years in center dialysis. And then I got the amazing phone call that there was a kidney waiting for me. So I went and got my second lease on life, and I went and got my second transplant. And I rejected that one as well. But during the period of time where I was healthy, I met my husband. This is Michael. He is my caretaker, and he is my rock, and he's just wonderful. Yeah. But yes, so I rejected that second kidney, and him and I decided I couldn't go back to in-center. I was a zombie in-center. And so we researched PD ourselves. I went to 5 different dialysis centers. 5 different nephrologists told me no, I couldn't do it. And I didn't take it. I went back to my original doctor, and I basically forced him to teach me how to go home. And he did. And I did 3 years PD, 100% on my own, with my eyesight, 100%, 3 years, never had an infection. Yes. Thank you. Never an infection. And after 3 years of doing PD, I was diagnosed with abdominal adhesion. That's when you have so much scar tissue in your belly that it won't do anything for you anymore. And so no more PD for me. So then I was lucky to hear from a next stage advocate, Sam, that there's a thing called home hemo. So I went home on dialysis and did home hemo with the help of my husband here. And so my update. So I actually, this last December, I was finally approved to have some genetic testing done. And I got diagnosed, guys. And so what I have a strain of C3 globular nephritis. What that is that's when it's a genetic condition, and so I got it from my parents. And while I was in the womb, basically a mutation developed in my body. And normally with people that have C3, it's in their protein, so it's in their bloodstream. And what happens is if they're injured, their body tries to heal itself, but it actually tries to kill it. So instead of healing, it actually damages. And so I have that, but we have no idea where it's at in my body. But guys, I think I found it. I think I figured it out. So I noticed about 1.5 years ago, I was having serious abdominal problems. The abdominal adhesion it was torture. And I was just going to every gastrointestinal doctor I could find. No one had answers. Finally, one said, hey, let's try some physical therapy. And I was like, okay. And so I decided I'd give it my all, get back in the gym. And so I went and I started doing this, guys. And I noticed things were starting to move in my stomach, and I could feel inside my stomach, I could feel myself tearing scar tissue apart. And I told the physical therapist, hey, I can feel this. And she says, no, you can't. And I was like, yeah, I can. Like, I feel this ripping. And she's like, I've never heard of that. And I was like, I know. Do you know how many times in my life I've been told I've never heard of that? 1 billion. I'd be rich if 1 penny came along with that, But so I kept with the process, guys, and the most interesting thing happened. One, I was getting healthier. And I would like to first point out, I switched to nocturnal a year and a half ago. And I attribute everything I'm about to tell you to nocturnal. And so every single one of you, thank you. Every single one of you that has any bit to do with these machines, you truly save our lives. And you saved my life, and I'm about to tell you why. So I noticed through this, we started doing nocturnal. I was able to start drinking more fluid, more water. I was able to rehydrate my body. What I figured out is my mutation is in my tissues. I didn't have abdominal adhesion, I have body adhesion. I have scar tissue through my entire body. And so I've been going through basically backwards through my life from each scar, and I have to break it down and work through it. And about 5 months ago, I started seeing in my eyes things moving. And it just seemed like light kind of moving around in my vision. And I've been legally blind now 20 years next month. And 4 weeks ago, I was with my husband. We were up in the Utah mountains. And I had got to the point, guys, where green and blue for me were the same color. Pink and red, same color. I would put on clothes. I didn't know if I was matching or not. And there were times where I grabbed one shoe and a totally different shoe, you know? But so 4 weeks ago, I was up at our property, and I woke up in the morning, and I stepped outside the trailer, and it was like the world started spinning, okay? I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And it was like someone flipped a switch, and the world went neon. Everything went so bright. I could see in the trees like 6 shades of green.
Oh, wow.
And since then, my eyesight has just been improving. And so now that I know all this, I look back on a few moments in my life, and this gives some clarity. For example, when I lost my eyesight, I was the first person ever to permanently lose my eyesight from toxemia. Well, what happened is my capillaries and my blood vessels all burst during my seizures, and so they bled out. All the blood was in my eyes, and I couldn't see past it. I am pretty sure that my scar tissue was able to start growing before we got all that blood out. And that scar tissue I broke my nose in cheerleading when I was in high school. So I already had scar tissue there, and it wrapped around, and that created my blind spot. And my blind spot, I can feel it, and it's getting smaller and smaller. Also, a year and a half ago, I had more seizures. I went to the hospital, and they said, we don't know why you had them. You must be stressed. Well, a month and a half later, I am in agony in my abdomen. I am in so much pain. I go to the hospital, and they say, you have a solid mass in your abdomen. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do now? Because of course, I always think it's my fault. And so every doctor's pawning me off on someone else because nobody knows what to do with me. My vascular surgeon comes in and he says, I'm willing to try. And I said, let's do it. So we went in there. He was able to break a piece off, and he said, this is a solid rock that I have in my abdomen. Well, he talked one of his buddies into coming in and doing my surgery. Next morning, I went in for surgery. I went in, I said goodbye to my family. I said goodbye to my husband. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life. And I went into that surgery knowing that there was a very, very high likelihood I would not be here anymore. And after surgery, that doctor came in and he was stoked. He was so excited, you guys. He said, I don't know how it happened, but when I went in there, everything went exactly the way it was supposed to. And guess what? So apparently, my appendix had burst. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a month and a half earlier when I had seizures, guys. Yeah, well now it makes sense because I had so much scar tissue that scar tissue squoze my appendix until it burst. And then that scar tissue squoze that fluid, and they were saying that I had to have been on antibiotics at that point for at least 3 days, or else I would have died from the toxic fluid. But my body was able to squeeze that into a rock. Wow. That they removed. Yes.
Wow.
And so the day after this surgery, I am like, I just got my life back. I am stoked. And this gray man comes running into the room and he says, we need to go in for for heart surgery now. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No, the heart's fine. Get back out. No, thank you. Go to the next room.
Right.
But so he's like, we need to go now. And we're like, hey, calm down. And then I found out I have a hole in my heart. And so then I found out the hard way that patients, and this, hopefully all you patients know, but patients should be on antibiotics when they go to the dentist. And if they're not, go get on them. Because any infection that you get while they're cleaning your teeth, any germs, goes straight to your heart. I got a hole in my heart because of getting my teeth cleaned. Right? So I ended up this last November 30th, I went in for open heart surgery. He said he was going to make a small 2-inch incision. It would be easy. We go in for surgery, and apparently a 2-hour surgery turned into a 10-hour surgery. When they got in there, not only did I need a brand new aortic valve, but the outside of my heart, the pericardium that holds your heart, it's just a little sac that protects it. It had completely calcified. So the surgeon told me, he says, I have never seen this on someone under like 70 years old. I don't know how the heck this happened. And he was saying maybe I waited too long and I pushed it to start dialysis. And I was like, well, I did push it, I did. So maybe that was my fault. Well, now that I know this scar tissue thing, my scar tissue was literally squeezing my heart to death. When I went in for that surgery, my blood pressures got down to where I was 60 over 30s. That was my normal blood pressure. I could not stand up. I couldn't stand up to go to the bathroom. I crawled on my floor to the bathroom because I would pass out. My husband woke up during the night like 6 times with me on the floor. And him waking me up saying, hey, you fell again. You went out again, And so my doctor said he literally had to take my heart and he had to peel it like a potato. And it took him 8 hours of just sitting and delicately peeling this off, okay? And the craziest part, guys, is I would have never, ever been able to figure this out without being on nocturnal. I would have never been able to drink enough water to allow my body to get strong enough and healthy enough to bounce back. And guys, now that I know what I have, I've talked to my geneticist that actually diagnosed me. They're going to study all my medical records, and we're going to actually map this whole thing out, and we're going to find a way to test for this. Because since then, my siblings are getting older, and they're starting to catch up, and I see things in them that I had. And now that I've met people with C3 and their families, it's really common. It's very rare, but the families that have it, it's common. I now know my daughter has it. I know my mom has it. I think my dad has it. And I know at least a few of my siblings have it. And so now I have the ability to help my family, the people I love most in this world, save their lives, not go into kidney failure. And how amazing is that? And it's literally is because I chose to do nocturnal. And Next Stage is the only machine right now that you can do nocturnal on, guys. And so you guys back there, you all did this. And I'm not sure if my eyesight will completely come back because it's been 20 years. There might be some permanent damage in there. But I can tell you, my vision right now, you guys, I became a grandma in March. I can see my grandbaby. I can see my grandbaby. And you all played a part in that. So truly, thank you for what you do every single day. It matters to us. It matters so much to us. You're all incredible.
Aww.